Howdy, just a quick heads up before the video starts. The mic quality is gonna be a bit inconsistent with this one. This video was in production hell for months upon months upon months, and I even got a new mic in the middle of it. I'm gonna try my best to balance out the levels, but I'm not an audio mixer, and I honestly just want this project out.
Just a part of my life. You're just a part of my life. And you're just a part of my life. And I can't get rid of you.
Unbeatable is a game about losing your way. Unbeatable is a game about love. Unbeatable is a game about fun. Unbeatable is a game about Unbeatable is a game you're little in the world. Unbeatable is about a lot of things, to be honest. This game is full of so many ideas, all of them rough around the edges, and yet, despite that, it all just clicks. Unbeatable is one of my favorite games of all time. Top 3 at least. And yet, it seems this game flew under most people's radars, and that simply won't do. So today, we're going to talk about Unbeatable, episode by episode, and we're not going to spare any detail, because today, I want to paint with dirt. And right off the bat, we got to get a bit dirty. For some reason, my episode 2 footage has no sound. As such, I had to yoink a tiny bit of footage for the parts with sound. I'll link who I took from in the description, and a little watermark will be on screen. With that out of the way, let's dive in. Spoilers ahead, and remember, all caps or no caps when you're typing that comment.
This opening calibration is great. From the moment you start it up, you get a great taste of what's to come and how flashy this game is gonna be. Truth be told, I'll be playing on beginner because I suck doo-doo butt at rhythm games. I'm gonna need all the help I can get. In Unbeatable, you play as Eve. You're the lead vocalist in the band One More Final, and tonight's the night of your big show. And instead of being on stage with the rest of your band, you're sitting here aura farming. Better make sure you look presentable before you head out. After digging around and absorbing every detail of this beautiful environment, you head out on stage to perform. We get this beautiful cinematic of us performing, saying hi to a little blue-haired girl. I'm sure she won't be important later. The little girl reaches out for Eve, and we hard cut to a grassy field, and... Hey! Where's Eve? Who the fuck is this pink-haired girl? This is where the rug is pulled out from under you. You see, I lied. In Unbeatable, you do not play as Eve. This is Beat. She is who you will actually play as for this adventure. Beat wakes up, disoriented, and spots a blue-haired little girl. Hey, wait a minute! We run up to the little girl, and she inspects our guitar and acts like we're holding a bag of crack in broad daylight. So, she does the logical thing and brings us into her house. But first, we've got to stash this contraband. In front of this tree right in front of the house should do it. There. No one will ever find it. Heading inside, the little girl runs to go get something, and we meet Crest. He's a cop, and a dumb one at that. So a cop. Crest stumbles around a conversation and leaves. We go talk to Studious Maid, yes, the iconic Studious Maid, and she shows us around the house. Hey, what's this light fixture?
How does this even work?
You're wondering about the light fixture? This is my favorite thing in the entire house. I'm Kitty talking about it. Sforzando herself designed this. I can't use her words like she can, but the philosophy, as she puts it, is that the best illusions are real. These lights are a suspended series of ultramagnets in delicate balance. Only a very small amount of electrical output from the top is required. The rest is amplified by the same mechanism that freezes it in midair. If it was even gently off-axis, the whole thing would violently collapse. It makes my heart flutter.
Anyways, you and Quaver are buddies now. You go into the neighborhood, help a girl skip rope, get called a harlot by a bully, prove you are a harlot by trying to seduce your way out of a sticky situation, and then get led into the big city under the pretense of getting Quaver a book from the library. Alright, let's break into this place over here, and hey, this looks familiar. Quaver has us recreate a photo her mom took, and wait a second. Oh! This photo stuff will be a reoccurring mechanic, BTW. Keep it in mind. Anyways, Quaver wants us to head to the audience area and watch her play. She starts playing a tune, presumably one of her mother's, and we watch. We get this beautiful zoom-out shot mirroring the one her mother got in the opening performance. Unfortunately, this really beautiful bonding moment is cut short as a harm officer enters the area. He pulls a gun on Quaver. This scene is great. There's no warmth, there's no sense of comfort, just tension. Oddly enough, the cop seems just as terrified as us. But of what exactly? Well, these little guys are the Silents. Turns out, us playing music brought them here. Quaver tries to save the cop by giving him a heads up, but it's too late. The Silents are upon us, and now we gotta fight our way out. This is where we get our first taste of the rhythm side of gameplay in this rhythm game. Silents are coming at us, and we gotta beat the shit out of them. RB to swing up, LB to swing down. Simple as. After a little highway terrorism, us and Quaver realize we have to stick together and lay low. Cut to the office of some agency called Harm. Apparently they're the cops of this world, and they're headed by this girl here, Rest. She looks suspiciously familiar as well. Rest is pissed no one was able to stop us and asks her lead detective, DC, what his thoughts are. He says it's too early to read the situation and that everyone fears Rest. I wonder if she'll be like the main antagonist or something. And with that, episode 1 concludes and we get a journal entry. We start out with a TV segment from two up-and-coming performers, Treble and Clef. I wonder if... Nah, I'm fucking with ya. They're important now! They're in the slammer for what we did on that highway, and the cops are showing them that old segment to... I guess mock them? Anyways, cut to Quaver and Beat. They learn that Treble and Clef got locked up for our actions, and Quaver is so dead set on saving them that we just have to go along. It doesn't end well. You see, we're thrown into their cell, and Quaver lets it slip that we kinda sorta maybe accidentally got them framed for highway terrorism. Whoopsie! Now Clef is trying to kick our ass, so we kick hers instead. What a warm welcome. Winning the fight, we decide to finally start acting like regular adults and talk things out. Clef gets frustrated that we don't know her and Treble, as most people know them. But again, we woke up in this strange world like a day ago, so it's not exactly our fault, now is it? Maybe if she knew the Unbeatable lore, she wouldn't be so mean. Anyways, she accuses us of being little freaks that intentionally summoned those Silents back in episode 1. I would never do a terrorism on purpose, thank you very much. Thankfully, Treble makes a derogatory comment toward the cops, and one is conveniently summoned by the mention of their name. Time for processing! Here we get a rundown on the facility. They lay down the prison and cops are an insanely abusive system messaging a little thick. I can't say it's wrong, because it's not, but it's laying it on just a little thick. Especially here.
Hey guys, it's Nori here. I forgot to get audio for this, and couldn't find one on YouTube that I could actually download. So, I'm just gonna walk through this scene. This guy, Attica, walks up and he gets shot. And he's like, I think that's a new record of how far I got.
And with that, it's time to eat. Looks like all the seats are taken, so we'll have to sit with... Hello. This is Penny. Penny here is an inmate and knows everything about everything. She gets things most other people can't have, and as such, people steer clear of her to avoid pissing her off. She has graciously decided to let us sit with her. Honestly, I think she just has a thing for Beat.
Hey, you're in my home.
We talk a bit, and she explains everything that I just said. She's a bit shifty, but hey, at least we have a friend now. The scene ends, and we cut to a scene of DC grilling Treble. He doesn't believe the highway terrorism was him and Clef. He tries to coax some info on us out of him, but he refuses to give it up. And that's why he's the GOAT. Day 2, baby! Today we're working the factory job. More specifically, Penny's old job. Our task is to make sure that these silence dampeners here work. To do that, we go through 3 checks. First is assembly. The dampener opens up, and you just gotta make sure that nothing falls off. If something does, deny that thing. Next is stability. Just hold RB and it'll tell you if it's stable or unstable. Lastly, we have tension. Just crank this thing here until the tension level is 5. Now, fun fact here. The guard says he'll double check your work, but he actually doesn't. Or at least not that I can tell. In my first playthrough, I did not know how to access 3 tests, so I just hit approve for everything. Either I got really good RNG, or failing doesn't actually do anything. For this playthrough, I did my best to accurately assess them, but if you hate the segment, you can just mash approve. Midday through your shift, one of the dampeners blows up. You're told not to worry about it. Naturally, Beat is pretty darn confused by this whole thing. So, at lunch, she asks Penny what they are. Penny explains with a suspicious amount of confidence that these things dampen the silence. Beat questions if they work for sure, and Penny gets a little too invested when assuring that they do. Next up on DC's questioning list is Clef. Clef, despite disliking us, refuses to rat us out, though she's not a very good liar. After that, we're forced to participate in an illegal prison fight set up by the guards. It's just the beat the cop / punch the Clef minigame from earlier. Once that's done, we're allowed to go back to bed where we have a dream sequence. Across the next few nights, Beat tells the story of how she was hired to detassel corn when she was very little. She failed to show up the first day, and her mom got mad. So after that, she worked the long hours on that job, a job that didn't pay well, wasn't fun, and had her working to the bone. I wonder if this will be like a recurring theme. Anyways, that's the basic structure you're going to be seeing over the next 2 days. Wake up, job time, story sequence, interrogation, beat the cop, dream sequence. As such, I'm not going to bore you with the details. We're going to talk purely about the story. Day 3, we see the perfect opportunity during our job to swipe the blueprints for the dampeners. After our usual lunch convo, we realize we forgot to talk to Penny about something. So, we head down to her cell and find her secret hole. Down here, she's got a few dampeners and blueprints stashed. Penny finds us, and of course is a little miffed we're in her hole. Don't laugh. She walks us through some lore about Harm, explaining that this place used to be a school. She again seems to know the inner workings of Harm in a way that feels off. Because this place used to be a school, the walls are notably pretty breakable. And combined with the fact that we know those dampeners can blow up with even the slightest misalignment, Penny has a plan. Quaver's next up for questioning, and she despises DC. Once again, we're not ratted out. Next day, we're doing something a little different. Instead of our job, we get to play baseball. This game's pretty simple. Hit the ball at the right time to the beat. I'm not very good at it. But the music's fire. After that, us and Penny fill the other 3 in on the plan. Quaver will rig the things to blow, and we'll approve them. DC drags us in for questioning next. He's on his dokes shit, knowing it's us, but being unable to prove it. He's been hinting at it the whole time, but it's especially obvious with how many times he does the camera zoom in here compared to all the others. Beat is more focused on the blinding light, though, and refuses to cooperate. DC gets fed up and leaves us there, sitting and staring at the light. We eventually head to the rec room, in which Clef has a crash out, and we're back to beat the cop. Clef eventually comes to her senses, and we just pretend like the whole thing never happened. Listen, I love this game, but this segment could have been cut easily and nothing would change. I like how it's used as a stand-in for that day's prison fight, but it feels kind of pointless, especially when Clef goes from 0 to 10 and then 10 to 0 in the span of a transition in and out of the fight. It's never really addressed, and it doesn't really impact their relationship at all, so why is it here exactly? Now it's time for our job. Clef runs her mouth to distract the guard, and we put our plan into motion. And boom! The building is set ablaze, and we run to get our stuff. Penny says that she has her own way out, and that she's not coming with us. Aw, man. We can't find our Walkman, and so we tell the others to head out. Thankfully, we find it just as the cops arrives, which means we're making our own way out. From there, we get one of the sickest segments in anything ever. Here, we get a rail grinding minigame where we blow past fields of cops. The whole sequence is great. I'm not good at it either, but it's great. I'm playing the track in the back right now, and listen to how raw it is. Anyways, we run into Penny. Hi, Penny! Okay, back to aura farming. The song culminates in a confrontation against DC atop a helipad as we switch to a beat the cop segment with this awesome transition. A little thing that I like here is that DC's gunshot is an instant miss to show him knocking Beat off balance. As far as I know, there's no way to dodge this shot. It's just a small detail that I really like. Anyways, we beat the goon squad, and then we beat DC. After that, we reunite with the gang on the train. We talk a little before realizing that, hey, we're getting shot at by drones!
Wow! I'm so relieved! Now now, when I'm pelted with bullets, covered in bruises, probably bleeding, at least I'll still be alive to feel it!
Beat, you're doing great, by the way.
That clip had no relevance. I just really like that gag and the way Noodle delivers it, and I'm not gonna get to use it again, so... Anyways, we're out of options. And so Clef comes up with the only idea that we have. Play music. If we can summon enough silence, we should be able to beat back the cops. You get this really dynamic sequence, switching between normal gameplay, animated cutscenes, the baseball/Whacktown minigame, and beat the cop. Tram goes off the rails, and we summon a big-ass silence in a sequence that I'm just gonna let play out in full. Shooting the silence down, our tram falls into the sea, and that's where the episode ends.
I cut off a half second of audio so it sounds like I said end instead of ends. Whoopsie.
We wake up in the sewer here. Looks like the path's blocked. But before we can do anything, we have to explain the concept of no shit to Quaver.
Wait, you mean no shit?
Yeah?
You've never heard that before? Seriously?
No, I have, but I've never really understood it, and I've been too afraid to ask.
It's just a sarcastic way to say that's obvious.
No, I sort of know that. Sort of. Literally, I know what it means, but I guess what I'm asking is it an insult, or are you agreeing?
Oh, no. Wow. I don't even know how to unpack that. I mean, it's sarcastic, sure, but I for one meant it as sort of an extreme agreement with you. You could also say it in a way that was an insult, so I don't know.
Yeah, unfortunately not every single joke in this game lands, but we get a funny gag right after this, so...
Yep.
So, we do a bit of looking around and find some sticky notes. We use these to stop this here sluice dispenser. Unfortunately, Treble and Clef went up ahead without us, so we'll have to play a bit of catch-up. We go over and find that they broke the floor on one of the catwalks, and now we're separated by a jump. Way to go, fat ass!
I'm not fat!
So now we gotta work together to shut off the sluice dispensers. Looks like we go first, and then Treble and Clef go after. Though, it's a little hard to communicate from across this big ass.
Yes or no? Oh, yes, the pipe is fixed, thanks! We're gonna keep moving! No.
Where's the parachute? I thought you said parachute!
This should work. Fuck! The game, equally as fed up with Clef's antics as Beat is, cuts away to rest. We're back at the Harm HQ and are met with Poco and A Poco. These little freaks are her publicists, and they're gonna give us a rundown on what we know about the main four. They know jack shit about Beat, and that makes Rest angry. But don't worry, they have a plan. They leave to go kick it into motion, and Rest turns to let someone off screen know she's aware they're eavesdropping. Turns out that someone is Forzando. Her voice is conveniently distorted so that we can't tell who it is, but something tells me I've still heard this voice before. Poco, get the fuck out! This is my whiteboard now. We're back with Beat & Co. now, and we found a place to crash. This old shack used to belong to Quaver's parents. After a bit of cleanup, the shack is no longer Tetanus's strongest soldier. Though, we do need to get that generator up and running real quick. Well, I'm tired. Time to go to sleep. We get another dream sequence with Beat arguing with two shadow beats. These two phantoms appear to be stand-ins for bandmates of some kind. Their text bubbles are yellow and purple, which is odd. Point is, much like with the work in the cornfield detasseling story, Beat is late. She's been a no-show repeatedly, and the bandmates are mad. I don't think they let her stay, chat. Wakey wakey! Time to go find the gang, and, oh, Oh, that's Treble and Clef ditching us. That's our only shot at forming a band disappearing into the wind. Well, they're not disappearing yet, according to Treble. They want to get their bearings first, or whatever. Don't care, get out of my way. Clef yelled at Quaver when she left, so we've got a 12-year-old to console. We're not the best at comforting her, but fear not. Poco and A-Poco are here to make it worse. They insult us.
You seem fun.
We spill Quaver's ramen, and they essentially try to cut us a deal. We fade away into the background, stop doing all of this, and it'll be like we never existed. Because frankly, they see us as nothing. We're not even worth their time. So, we are presented with two options. Take the offer, or go make trouble and get beaten up by the local cops. I'll take option 2, baby! Hey, why is this song called Unwinnable Brawl? Nah, I'm fucking with ya. That's not till later. First, we gotta chase after Quaver and go through this daydream sequence here.
And it's not your fault, and it's not fair. But you have to do it if you want it.
Wait, huh? So, Trouble snaps us out of our daydream, once again reiterating that Beat needs to pay attention to things more. That shop we keep passing in town? That's the side of one of Quaver's photos. Trouble ditches us again like a little bitch, and now we gotta go check this place out. We show this photo to the manager of the bar on the second floor, and she accidentally gives us the keys to the roof so we can get up there. But first, let's be a productive member of society and help this poor, understaffed establishment out. This is the game's bartending minigame. Listen to what the customers want, make them the drink, and then mix it to the rhythm. It's all fairly simple stuff. We serve people like the waitress from the ramen bar, this guy named Smelly, and hi, Penny! Hi! Well, heading to the roof and breaking this window, we find ourselves another photo of Quaver's parents. Looks like they're at a lighthouse? Maybe that's where Quaver's at. Let's get... ah, shit. Cops here for a random search. This is the unwinnable brawl I mentioned from earlier. Even if you perfect combo here, the cops eventually kick your shit in. It was also around this point that I realized you could just kinda spam LB and RB with little consequence. So, for the rest of the playthrough, I decided I was gonna make my footage look as ridiculous as possible. We're then greeted by another one of Poco and A-Poco's delightful intrusions.
I didn't think you'd actually go get beaten up by the local cops. Couldn't make that out. Could you speak up?
What happened to doing nothing?
What happened to not making trouble?
Besides, what did we have to do with this? Do you think we're really in charge of those guys?
We don't tell them what to do.
Hell, we don't even tell their boss what to do.
You heard your child
We're
friend.
just
glorified publicists.
Weird that you go around making friends with children.
Oh god, Beat, they're gonna make an exposed doc on you! They have a fun little back and forth about Quaver and her undying loyalty to her mother. Poco makes a snide comment about how Quaver loves her mommy, and then, completely unprompted, A-Poco says to Beat in the most sultry fashion possible,
Mommy is such a fun word, isn't it?
why did she say that to Beat?
What do you mean by that?
You're in my home.
They once again deny that the cops were there doing, and ask if we really think so lowly of the cops that they can't think for themselves. Okay, well now I gotta. They snatch the lighthouse photo from us, and then storm off. We're given another daydreaming sequence, this time between Beat and someone labeled simply as Sis. We don't immediately understand what they're talking about. All we know is that it's about something costly that Sis wants to do, but Beat doesn't. I'll leave it there, but keep this in the back of your mind for later. We wake up on the pavement and logically assume the twins slinked off to the location of the photo. We track it down and find Quaver standing outside. After a break-in and a brawl, we begrudgingly find ourselves before the belligerent twins once more. They burn the drawing and Quaver breaks down. Then they spout some bullshit about how we don't matter and that no matter what we do, the needle won't move. Bullshit! Quaver, you're with me. We're gonna make a band, and it's gonna be awesome. But every good band needs a poster, and so it's up to us to make one. I use my poster making skills very responsibly and create the most respectable poster the world has ever seen. With posters in hand, let's go cover up some propaganda. But first, we've got something we owe Quaver.
Quaver, hold up for a second. It'll be quick. Check it out.
And with that, we finish out strong with Quaver's photo quest. I mash it up about as well as I can, and we head out.
What the hell is this supposed to be?
Nothing! Anyways, with all that said and done, it's time to put on a show. It's a shame. Nobody's here except these two shadows that I can't quite seem to make out. If only the characters in this game had, like, distinctive silhouettes. A shame. Yep, they're here to give another dramatic speech. They give the story of the gladiators and how whether they lived or died depended on the emperor giving a thumbs up or a thumbs down depending on if he liked the guy. Moral of the story, don't be boring or you might as well be dead. They once again fuck off and Clef comes in, presumably trying to apologize. Beat reasonably assumes she's trying to start shit and blows her off. We get another dream sequence of Beat dropping out of college, but she doesn't want it to be forever. She asks if she can ever come back. The counselor tells her that she has about 7 years, and that's it. Any longer, and her records are wiped clean. We wake up, and Trouble comes tracking us down to tell us off. We better head to Whacktown and let Clef say her piece now! We beat up some cops to save Penny, my glorious Queen Penny, and head into Whacktown. TLDR of Clef's speech, we're getting the band back together. But, like everyone's been telling Beat, both in the dream world and in this one, she needs to lock in and actually put in the effort. So, we're reunited, and we jump to a week later. We've got to be able to make some noise if we want to be able to pop off, so we come up with a plan to rob a harm facility for contraband. Also, look at this scene. It's funny. We make our plan with an out-of-nowhere comment from Clef in the middle of it.
It's like if you have huge boobs and you try to look at your feet. Can't see your feet.
Thanks, Clef. The heist goes off without a hitch, aside from me sucking at the rhythm section. And now here comes the fun part. The escape. I will have to dock some points here, as we are given a break, yet we aren't allowed to throw it at the cop cars. Anyways, after a really fun rail grinding segment, we're home free. Quaver FNAF 6's her parents' shack, for whatever reason, and now it's time for the concert. We low-key kill it. Mass attendance, everybody's jumping up and down, and then the Poco twins show up and try to ruin it. But this time, we won't let them. Spitting their analogy back at them, as the beat drops, we give them the thumbs down. We beat them in a brawl, but the cops keep coming. It's up to the crowd, who absolutely loves us, to hold off the cops as we escape. I really like this shot here of A Poco behind us while we're still performing, forced into the back seat. They tried so hard to push us into the ground, but now they're on the receiving end of it. See you later, suckers! And thus, the episode ends. We open on a montage of Unbeatable, the band, not the game, set to one of my favorite songs in the game, Memorized. This montage shows us practicing, beating the shit out of some cops, and performing live for a rather enthusiastic crowd. This, of course, is cut short as we get hit with a title card and Crest stumbling his way through a press conference about our antics. Pogo and A Poco bail him out, with A Poco once again being needlessly suggestive.
What a big, strong guy, right?
Cutting back to the gang at a restaurant, we're all seated and having ourselves a little chat about next steps. Beat throws out the idea of making an album. Not like what we've been doing where we just record, but like an actual full-ass album. Clef and Treble are a bit worried we're taking this a bit too seriously. After all, this is the good part. We should chillax, enjoy ourselves a little. Hopefully Beat won't be ignoring that advice for the rest of the episode. We're back at the hideout now, and we gotta practice up. Tonight is for rich people, which means we gotta be louder and looser. After all, we won't be seeing any cops because rich people cancel out cops. Like beer
and water.
It's true.
Cops can't do anything to rich people. That's like if a cop did something to another cop.
We're at the show now, and we get to perform Memorized in full, and boy is it a treat. As I said earlier, I love this song. A lot. The crowd didn't seem to love it though, as they're hurling insults at Beat. We're obviously upset about this, so we stay behind once everyone packs up after the show's conclusion. Penny stops by and invites us to go to a bar. We're 1 year too young, but who gives a shit? Anything for you, Penny! We're back at the hideout, and Harm has placed a dampener outside. That's no good, so we beat them up and then beat the dampener up, and then go with Quaver on our merry way. Merry way to where exactly? Well, nowhere exactly. We're just kind of passing the time until the show. We get way too invested in the floor is lava and beat up another dampener. After the show, we're at the laundromat. We hijack the machine to get it to work and have a heartfelt moment with Quaver.
Sorry I've been a head case.
You've been apologizing a lot, Beat.
Yeah, obviously. Stuff hasn't gotten resolved. We're doing well, but really, we're just scraping by. We just needed a miracle to do laundry, Quaver. That's all. I guess all we can do is keep doing what we know how to do, and figure it out from there.
Yeah. Did you not put any clothes in?
These are all the clothes I've got, Quaver.
That's gross. Ugh, sorry. That's not really your fault right now. Maybe you could wash them while sitting back in your underwear? Is that weird? I could give you a blanket.
I'm basically already in my underwear. It's fine. I'll deal. Hey, have you ever noticed how these are basically just funhouse mirrors? Look.
Nah.
See?
I would die for them. At the bar now, Penny tells us she's got a studio she's been keeping secret and invites us over.
I've got an actually maintained studio environment. Something pristine.
It never got rated? How?
Safe, clean, perfect for knocking an album out. Or two. Or other things, even. Or two.
Hi. Wow. Oh, okay. Penny brings us over and we play her one of her tapes. Ugh. It's not the best right now. Penny says she'll figure something out. Wakey wakey, it's day 2. Treble wants to hang out. Hangout session, 3, 2, 1. Oh! Cock-blocked by Clef wanting to practice. Practice in 3, 2, 1. Oh! Cock-blocked by Penny! Hi, Penny. She's here to show us her new mix. Though a bit of a digital reconstruction, she's made this.
You did this in a day?
Penny, I love you, but this is ass. But Beat and Quaver seem to like it, and Clef gives it a hesitant okay. Treb refuses to give his opinion. Now it's practice time. After that's over, everyone's ditched us, and we can finally hang out with Treble as we head out to go find them. Beat, you're just kind of...
Sorry, table.
That's not my name.
No, table.
I think you need a break. We or a farm while doing some graffiti, meet the... Are you serious? That's what we're calling them. Okay. The Tough City Kids. Then we help a kid who's being accused of shoplifting, and then we go help a guy get out of the sewers. When we grab the thing that gets him out, we get another funny interaction with the UI. Anywho, side quest aside, we find Clef at the arcade, but as it turns out, everything is broken. A cop has a dampener stationed on the roof, and it's fucking with the arcade machines. You know the drill. Go up, beat the cop, beat the dampener, head back down. Unfortunately, we take so long that it's closing time for the arcade. Well, better head back to the studio to meet with Penny. Penny says some dumb shit about Harm naming themselves Harm to be satire-proof or something. Something, she knows a little too much about how Harm functions, blah blah blah, obvious foreshadowing, something, I don't know. I got too lost in her eyes to pay attention. When we get back, Quaver asks us to play a demo tape her mom made in our Walkman.
I can't stand it, it's
Day 3. Treble wants something, and Clef wants to hang out first. And before that, she wants us to practice. I practice, and then I make a beeline for the roof, accidentally skipping Clef's hangout. Fuck! I'm sorry, Clef. Anyways, Treble finally lets the cat out of the bag that he doesn't like Penny's mix, and puts it pretty adequately.
I think the new mixes are awful. Whatever. But it really is too clean. There's like, this energy is gone from it. You know, some messiness is good. It's like restoring a painting. You have to be careful because you can scrape paint off alongside the dirt. And I think we do a little bit of our painting with dirt.
Anyways, time for another late night churning out slop and giving slop to Penny. We are once again ignoring the gang's advice to do the wise thing and have an adequate sleep schedule. Penny asks us about the philosophy of why people make art, and we don't really have a good answer. Another beaten sister flashback dream sequence happens after this. Nothing too much of note this time. Day 4 now, and we wake up to Penny calling us a girly.
I know what you are.
Anyways, she wants us to go day drinking. Whatever. But turns out someone forgot to pay her tab last time, and now we gotta cover for the bartender's shift as payback. Unfortunately, I don't ace it like I did the first time, and I fail to meet quota. Bartender says we'll have to come back for a second shift, but fun fact, you don't. You can just choose to never come back and nothing happens. I thought that was funny. Anyways, we suck shit at tonight's concert, and everyone's worried about us. We have a falling out over the difference in perspectives of how the band should be run, with Beat once again sticking to the idea of working herself to the bone in the pursuit of perfectionism. Doesn't end well, and we storm off to go meet with Penny. I know I've been playing this plot up for laughs so far, including this scene, but it is genuinely pretty well done. I ended up resonating with Beat quite a lot. Hell, I was working myself to the bone on this very video for a while, to the point I almost canceled it due to burnout. And what Beat says to Treble and Clef really does sting.
Please, for once in your life, Treble, stop talking.
Do not talk to him like that.
Well,
Do you want to know what fine means then? Sure, here it goes. I have to kill myself every night doing all of your jobs because none of you.
Excuse me?
He doesn't even give a shit. He doesn't care how this stuff sounds.
We meet up with Penny, and her studio explodes right in front of us. Her and Beat are rightfully furious. Penny says how she's tired of being on the back foot, and that it's time to finally take the fight to harm. And that's how episode 4 ends. No credit sequence, no real ending, just a journal entry and a title card to... Alright, we're breaking into Harm Tower. We're going straight to the source. There are elevators that'll ride us to the top, but first we gotta get access. Oh, Crest, perfect timing. Hey, do you mind if we... beat the shit out of you and steal your keycard? He doesn't seem to mind. Okay, good news and bad news here. Good news, this keycard will let us ride all the way up the elevator. Bad news is, all the way is only a halfway up the building at floor 50. Wait. You're telling me this thing has 100 floors? That's like 2/3 of a Burj Khalifa. See, Beat gets it. Penny doesn't though, she doesn't know what that is. Okay, sidebar time, you and me. Viewer, what the fuck is going on? Because I glossed over it earlier, but back in episode 1, Quaver didn't recognize any of the guitar brands we mentioned, and in episode 2, nobody knew the Walkman brand either. Why does nobody know the brands or buildings we bring up? Look, we don't have time to dwell on this, so let's just reconvene later, okay? We find this device that Sforzando lady tested, and oh, that doesn't look good at all. See, even Crest is freaked out. He comes back and immediately leaves. I don't want to be anywhere near this thing, so let's go meet up with Penny. Okay, so to get the rest of the way up, we gotta use a cargo elevator. We hijack that, but there's one small issue. Only one of us can go up at a time. To keep the elevator working, one person has to be holding a button on the console at all times. So we're gonna go up, and then we're gonna bring Penny up. Straight shot, right? Oh, we're fucked. And it seems I'm right on the money about that comment, as we get one of my favorite moments in the entire game. DC and the Poco twins have us surrounded on either side. Penny's got no way to help us, so she does the only thing she can. Play the only surviving mix from the studio she had. This fight is awesome. Okay, so for context, on the menu, you get 2 main options, story mode and arcade. By now, if you're a curious fellow like me, you've probably given the arcade mode a shot. In the arcade mode, it has its own little song called Proper Rhythm that acts as the tutorial level to get you familiar with the game's controls. This mix Penny is playing is a remix of Proper Rhythm, and it is glorious. It's a true test of everything you've learned. It switches from beat the cop and silence fighting segments faster than any other portion of the game to my knowledge. It's great. So we do what we do best. Wiggle our fingers and jam the keys. With enough grit and determination, we beat the fight and make it to the top. But when we let Penny up, she starts babbling about things that don't quite make sense.
What's real? What do you mean?
Oh, I can't believe I'm... Okay, keep up. Have you ever gotten stuck on something? Just thought about it over and over. Can't let a thing go? Every moment in time that has people in it has someone who can't let it go, even in a small way. What you're looking at is a moment in time nobody has moved past. The sum total of everyone's emotional recollection.
What? How does that even work? How do you know this?
That's a cool question with a cool answer. This'll hurt. These things are fundamentally radioactive. Radioactive means that... Oh, don't give me that look. You're not gonna get skin cancer or whatever. I don't even think you're capable of that. Besides, it's not that kind of radiation. Let me know how this feels. God, finally.
Yep, the twist that you probably wouldn't have seen coming had I not been foreshadowing it for ages finally happened. Penny was Sforzando all along, and this is where we go from Yuri to Toxic Yuri. You see, Sforzando is fascinated by us. We're reckless. We endanger people. We're not boring like Rest. But what fascinates her even more is that we're a 99% match for what the Silents are. The only thing even close to that is a black hole, which is only a 30% match. So, what are the Silents exactly? Thankfully, Sforzando is here to explain. They're holes in the universe. No, really, they are the complete absence of anything, given form by our imagination. She long-lived the king's us down into her lab, and infodumps more as this harsh, almost grating soundtrack plays. If the Silents are holes in this world, what does that make us? Why are we nearly identical? Why aren't we fully identical? That's what Sforzando wants to find out. Why is she getting closer? Ref, do something! We land at the very bottom of the tower and come face to face with Rest. She's mourning the grave of one more final, and there are only 3 graves. Oh. This reveal is so well done. If you were paying enough attention while playing, you could probably clock that Rest was the guitarist of One More Final way earlier. But the way this spells it out for those in the back is great. There's this foreboding silence as you connect the dots. And then there's Rest. And she's furious. Furious with us over everything we've done. Furious about the terrorism. Furious about the way we've undermined her. Furious about the way we influenced Quaver and ruined the one thing she had left of Eve. And she's tired of being furious. So she takes it out on us. We can barely stand, but we have to fight. And it's not a pretty fight. There's no sense of grandiosity to it, like the fight with DC and the Poco twins, or the scripted loss against Sforzando. It's just sad. Both girls knock each other through the floor in a frankly pathetic fashion. And as if things couldn't get any worse, that's when Sforzando finally catches up to us. She pulls out a gun. She aims it at Beat. The guns work on the Silents because the harm agents believe they do. The Silents are influenced entirely by it. So, if Sforzando believes this gun will hurt us, will it? She intends to find out. However, Sforzando makes the mistake of mentioning our friends. No. You don't get the right to threaten them. You don't get to talk about them like that. In a blind fury, Beat disarms Sforzando. She does the only thing she wants to do right now. She punches Sforzando really hard. And then she punches Sforzando again and again and again. Sforzando's blood coats Eve's grave. She's only saved when we're stopped by Quaver? And Treble? Our friends came to help us, presumably catching the gist of what's happened. But there's no moment of relief here, it's just sadness. Sadness that our friends had to see us like this. Sadness in the realization that even though Rest knows Sforzando is a criminal now, she has to lock us up too. The episode ends with an uncomfortable car ride home between Quaver and Rest. Quaver wants to know what will happen to us, but Rest refuses to treat Quaver equally to us or even give her a straight answer. She keeps protecting Quaver in a way that she doesn't extend to us, and Quaver is upset. Rest says it's because Quaver is just a child, but it's clear by the way Rest talks that there's more to this. But we don't get a satisfying answer. At least, not one that we're not piecing together in our head on our own. Instead, we just get a shot of Quaver's room as she storms in and throws the Walkman we gave her aside. After the credits, we're not immediately put into the next episode this time. Instead, we're put into the title screen, and Eve is there? No. No, Beat's supposed to be there. Hang on. What's going on here? Well, I guess we gotta find out. We open on that same cinematic from the intro, but now we finally get to see what happened to Eve. Behind her, a silence forms in her image. It forms a finger gun pointed at Eve. The officer behind it returns it in kind. The cinematic ends with a wounded Eve letting out a quiet call to Quaver. And then we get Beat. The real Beat. You have brown hair, and you are once again late to work. Shit, let's go. Our boss tries to scold us, but hold on, we're getting a call. Oh shit, we gotta get somewhere, and fast. But before we can figure out where Beat is off to, we're hit with another perspective switch. This time, we are checking in on Rest and Quaver. Rest tries to talk to Quaver about Eve, making a quip about her awful cooking, but Quaver still isn't taking all this well, so she runs off to her room. She watches a tape of Eve, and angered over everything she's lost, she punches the TV. We're then sent back to the specific TV from way at the beginning of episode 1. It has only a few simple words for us. This isn't a love story. We're back to Beat. Our sister is trying to pull us out of our rut, but frankly, it isn't working. Turns out we got fired for our blunder earlier, and haven't been able to hold a job since. So we do the one thing we have been doing. We shut our sister out, and we go to sleep. We wake up back in the world of harm. So, was all of this like a dream? We'll get to that, but first Rest wants to talk to us. The world has gone to shit. Silence have populated in such amounts that the skyline is almost completely filled. After stopping by Quaver's house, or I guess Rest's house as we now know, Rest grabs her guitar from her time during one more finals heyday, and we're on our merry way. Turns out whatever happened in her long span of absence has got Quaver, and potentially even Treble and Clef, so we're off to Harm Tower to save them. But when we get inside, we're met with Crest, but something's wrong. He's surrounded by a black whirlwind, a void of his own despair. We're kinda like the Silence, right? Maybe we can help him. Rest, you stay here, and I'll see what I can do. You see, Crest is in a prison of his own mind. A manifestation of his insecurity is given form by the Silence, and it is bleak. It's falling apart at the seams, glitching every few seconds. We try to pull him out of his rut, but nothing's getting through to him. He won't stop going on and on about how hopeless this situation is. And the only outlet he has for his spiral is taking it out on the only other person there, us. So we fight, and we slap some sense into him. We illustrate to him how dumb it is to try and take down a fascist organization by working for it, and in turn, he gives us some useful information. The Poco twins quit Harm, which means they're still out there. With Crest freed, we're greeted with a flashback to when Beat got kicked out of her band. We don't have time to dwell on it though, as it's time to save the Poco twins. We reunite with Treble and Clef on the way, and promise to talk about all of this later. But for now, we've gotta go. We gotta get to the lighthouse, and I think I'm in the wrong game. We go in, and we're met with a rather different environment. The twins deliver a speech to us. We're back to the same battle of philosophy from episode 3. The twins think nothing matters, but we do. So we challenge them. In a boss battle mixing Beat the Cop, Whacktown, and oddly enough the sneaking sections from episode 3's Heist, we debate them. We try to get them to crack. To admit that, yeah, they do love their work. And we do it with a speech that resonated with me so much that, frankly, I don't want to write over it.
It doesn't feel great when you get it right.
Well, I mean, yeah, I like doing a good job.
It doesn't hurt at all when you mess it up, like you did with me. Never forget I beat you too.
Come on! Do you really think we thought about that at all?
Of course it hurts!
It's fine. It's a bump.
Right. We don't let it get to us.
Why does it hurt at all, though? If you're so above it all. If you didn't care about the thing you did. Just admit you give a shit. What are you embarrassed about?
It's not that, it's...
What? Like you?
Yes, of course I am. The shit I do is the shit I am. And yeah, maybe it's not healthy just how much self-worth I attach to what I make, but I'm a mature enough goddamn human being to admit I care when someone hates what I've made. And that I love it when they love it.
With that, the twins break. They admit it. They love working together, and they love making shit. They embrace and are set free from their prison. But unfortunately, those good times cannot last. As with what happened after we freed Crest, we get another flashback sequence. This one is, unfortunately, worse. Beat's mom is in the hospital, and is dying of cancer. Beat, down on her luck as is, lashes out at her mother. The flashback ends on an uncomfortable pause. We learn later that this is the last time Beat ever got to speak to her mom. I'll talk more about this at the end, but let's keep going. Our next stop is the prison, where we get a look at the consequences of our actions. Dozens of people locked up for what we did, and Rest can't even undo it because she isn't a part of harm anymore. We have to just walk past everyone. It sucks. This time, we're trying to save DC. His throwback of choice is the rail grinding minigame. There's even a reference to Bang, the song of the first rail grinding segment, which is a nice callback. Bad news, though, he won't budge. We best him in combat, and he still refuses to waver in his ideals. Mark Holden does a great job here conveying DC's anger.
Don't make me laugh! Help! How did you expect this to go? Did you think you'd corner me, and then a little tough love would get me to change my sorry ways?
Even harm.
I'm not sorry about my ways!
We can change the rules. Sometimes rules are...
The rules were fine as written! As originally written!
But, you know what? Fine. You want to have a stick up your ass still? Then stay that way. We're done here. The flashback of choice this time is an argument with our sister. This is a follow-up to that flashback back in Hybrid Rainbow where we dropped out of college. Sis is furious. She insists that she could have paid for our college, but she couldn't have. But she could have taken out loans. She couldn't have. Beat tried. Like before, the flashback ends uncomfortably. On the car ride to the next location, we have a talk with Rest. Turns out Resty here had herself a little crush. Ooh. But it also turns out that that crush was Eve. Unfortunate. But also someone's a lesbian! Sforzando is up next, and she is not very helpful. After insulting our intelligence,
Geniuses.
she explains that this whole thing was not her doing. She goes on a long spiel that essentially boils down to, everything's fucked, you can't fix it, the world is gone, you're done. We'll see about that. Bye, Sforzando, call me! Rest and Beat have another chat before they head out, and Rest confides in Beat that she can't help but feel like it's all her fault that Eve died. That the silence that night was a manifestation of her worries that she'd never see Eve again. Poor girl. We ride off, but are plagued by another flashback of running out into the street in anger and getting hit by a car.
That's right, baby! It was an isekai all along! You got duped! It wasn't a coma! Fuck Fuck you!
Hit with a second flashback immediately after, we see that Mom has left us a voicemail. She hasn't got much fight left in her. She's been fighting and fighting and fighting this cancer and hasn't got any better. So she won't. She's done. She starts a final sign-off to the voicemail, but is cut off. But we can't dwell on that right now. After all, we still have 2 people left to save. One of which is, well, Beat. Beat's inner voice walks her through everything that's happened to her. The fights, the breakups, the insecurities, all of it. And she comes to terms with the fact that her and her mother ended on bad terms. But that doesn't mean the same has to happen to Quaver. And it doesn't mean that we have to end our life as a whole on bad terms. We've changed. Beat has changed. Every 7 years, a human body is fully regrown, and it's been 7 years for Beat. It's a new her, and it's time for her to reconcile with that fact. Beat faces herself in her mindscape's mirror. The 2 shift to be the same design. No longer is she Beatrice, the woman plagued by insecurity and haunted by inaction. She's Beat, and she will carry on. Beat bursts through the mirror, embracing her other self and becoming one. And we get closure on the message her mother left. I love you. Obviously. Now let's go save our goddamn friend. Bookend Song is the final song of the game, and it is awesome. It's a 12-minute, action-packed adventure. We call out to Quaver, getting her attention with the thing she trusted with us most. Brain Poison. The song she wanted to play on our Walkman. The one we listened to under the moonlight. We use it not only to reach out to her, but to ourselves. It's the tune we carry as we fight through the crowd of silence, people, and wily harm agents. And when we're just close enough, we reach out to Quaver and enter her mindscape. We're back under the moonlight, and at the laundromat. The scene shifts between the 2 places that matter to us most. And with these 2 locales, we sit down and we talk. We talk about how unfair this all is. We talk about how much we need Quaver. And more importantly, we talk about our mother. Quaver and Beat, though being a literal parallel universe apart, are more similar than words can even describe. So we open up to her and help her come to terms with her own feelings about Eve. And with that, we sift through our side of the crowd as Quaver sifts through hers, and then we reunite. Standing back to back, the song picks back up with Quaver singing, and our rhythm section no longer has us just controlling Beat, but now Quaver as well. We fight as the background shifts from background to background, showing us every locale we've been to. The song is powerful. Quaver sings about Eve, the driving force of this game, and how she's always reminded how she'll forever be without her. But it's not sad. Instead of being a reminder of the loss of Eve, it's an affirmation that Quaver can finally move on. That she can stop chasing the echoes of Eve and finally be herself. And we can once more be unbeatable. The gang gets together and performs one final concert. Midway through, we get this beautiful shot of Quaver and Beat once again reprising Brain Poison, this time as a duet. But instead of saying she'd be without Eve, Quaver changes the lyric. She'll never be without her. Sort of. And with that sweet note, Rest joins our crew, and Quaver lets out a cathartic as we get a montage of the world and how it will change after this concert concludes. Nature flourishes. Harm is dismantled. Beat reunites and reconciles with Sis in her world. All of this as we get to play as all 5 members. We end on a shot of the main 4 on a cliff face. Beat plays a song on her guitar, and they all laugh. To close things off, Quaver lets a flower she picked fly free in the wind, just like she did at the beginning of episode 1, and Beat returns to her world a changed woman. The credits roll, and we get one final journal entry, an unfinished draft of an email from Beat to her college's admission programs asking what it would take to get back in, and we get a drawing of our cast. And that was the game. I cannot lie, I cried. This game touched me in many ways. As an artist, as a trans woman, as a friend, as a girl grappling with burnout, as, well, as everything. This is my second favorite game of all time. Never has a game moved me as much to improve on my gameplay as Unbeatable has. Remember, I don't like rhythm games, but I stuck around for Unbeatable. And I'm still gonna stick around because, god damn it, I know I can get better, because with practice, that's all there is to it. The story of Beat's mom hit hard for me. This is a fact I'm not too open about usually, but a few years ago, my dad was diagnosed with cancer. He survived, and he's been cancer-free for a while, but I still remember those nights. Those nights where I was worried sick about my dad, not knowing if the next time I hung out with him, it would be the last. So yeah, I like this game. I like this game a lot. Is it perfect? God, no. I think the minigames are hit or miss. I saw plenty of technical issues, and voice lines often overlapped in a way that was distracting. Yet, despite all its blemishes, despite all the dirt, I love Unbeatable. And I hope you will check it out, and I hope you'll love it too.
We did it, guys. Bring it in, gang. Together, we're unbeatable.
Who the hell are you?
I gotta get out of here.
Howdy, I'm not gonna talk your ear off, it's just standard outro stuff. First things first, thank you to my girlfriend for this new outro theme, it's absolutely lovely. Second of all, this video has been in production hell for quite a while, so thank you all for sticking through this. If you're getting to this end card, I appreciate you big time. I know it can't have been easy with how ass the mixing was, but I'm gonna be honest, there was no real way to salvage it. This has just been in production for so long that I got a new mic in the middle of it. That's about it. Thank you to Rachel Lake for her cameo there at the end. She was very kind working with me, and I very much appreciate it. Thank you to my friend Hypno for helping out and voicing Beat when Rachel didn't get back to me initially. And lastly, thank you to Zomb for the art. Honestly, she's an amazing artist to work with, and I cannot thank her enough. You seriously should commission her, she's great.